It is Monday, September 12th, and this is another episode of Let There Be Talk, episode number 664. Today will be a solo episode, and I will begin a series in between guests of my Marcus King Tour diary. Plan on having some of the other members of Marcus King on the show over the next few weeks. Jack Ryan will be coming on, the drummer, and also shooting the shit with maybe the bus driver, the sound man. I'm going to weave that in between all of the other guests that are planned in the next few weeks. So glad that you guys are joining me here. It is what is today? Monday. It has been a whirlwind of insanity out there. Started on the tour last Thursday. I'm telling you, it is crazy to think about a rock and roll tour. I have not done a rock and roll tour in years. I think the last time I did one, I was, in my late 30s. So you forget how gnarly these tours are, man. They are go. So I flew into Philly last week, met the guys at the Met, which is an absolute beautiful venue, and that is where we started the Marcus King Youngblood tour. We have Ashlyn Kraft out there. She'll be on the podcast soon. Amazing singer-songwriter out of Nashville. Killer voice. Great spirit. Digging her. She opens the show. And then we have the incredible Neil Francis, who I've had on the podcast. And he kills it. And then I do some comedy. And then Marcus King comes out and just destroys it with the band for 2 hours. It is a long, old-school rock and roll comedy show. And I'll tell you, it has been an interesting challenge so far for myself because I am trying to figure out how to wrangle this audience into listening to some comedy. Whenever you sign up for a opening for a band, I've talked about it over the years, whether it be Alice in Chains, Rival Sons, Metallica, you know what it's going to be for the most part. It's going to be a boxing match. It's you in the audience, and you just got to be jabbing, and don't let them get you up against the ropes. You have to just stay in the pocket and just try to get some jokes out there. And that's really what it is. It's almost like you have to go back to your open mic days when you start comedy. Many, many years ago, 13 years ago, I would go do open mics, and I would do them 2-3 a night. I don't even know how most comedians survive that. I think that's where a lot of people tap out right at the beginning. They do 2 or 3 open mics, and they go, And these open mics are different than maybe one you've gone to in your town. When you go to a true open mic in Los Angeles or New York, it's just other comics in there, and they're just looking at their books. There's usually zero audience, and you're just trying to, craft the jokes and say them, and that's all you're really doing. And if there's a few people in the audience, you hope to grab them. And if you see some of the comics maybe laugh a little, you're like, all right, there's something there. But it is a brutal situation. And these rock and roll tours can definitely be brutal. They can also be great. You just have to take it night to night. So we've done 3 so far. We flew in, like I said, did the Met in Philly. What a beautiful building. Just smoking. Looked like an old school opera house with those multiple levels with the Lincoln type booths where, Lincoln got assassinated. Those booths, just looking down. The Met was a great kickoff of the tour. It was that thing where you get to a tour and there's tons of people on it. You've got the sound guy, you got the monitor guy, you got the lighting guy, you got the tour manager, you got the tour manager's assistant. You have the band. Each band has 4 or 5 or 6 people in it. Then they have the techs, the guitar tech, the drum tech, the bass tech, the keyboard tech. Then you have the bus drivers. You have, what else do you have out on the tour? You have somebody, then you have all the people that work at the venue, of course, the local help. So you're getting to know everybody, and you're immediately thrown onto this wild ride with people, and you just start to meet people and learn everybody's way of life and what music and what movies they like when you're on the bus. It's a fun experience. But I'll tell you this, I've been touring all my life. But comedy touring is totally different than rock and roll touring. And I forgot all about rock and roll touring. Like I said, the last time I did it was with Alice in Chains. And that was a good 5 years ago. But the rock and roll touring, you get to the venue about 11 in the morning. And then they unload the equipment. And then they sound check around 2. And then there's like a VIP meet and greet around 4. And then the doors open at 6. And then Ashlyn goes on. And I bring her on at 7. And then Neil Francis goes on. It's different times every night. And then I go on, and then Marcus goes on. And then by the time the show's done, it's 11 at night. And then from 11 to around 12:30, they load up the gear onto the buses. And then we usually roll out of town around 2 a.m. And you go to the next city, and it's the same thing. So if you have like 3 cities, 4 cities in a row, you're just running and gunning. And there's not really a good amount of time to break away from the venue because you got to be there for stuff like, sound check and making sure everything's going good. I have to podcast in between during the day, find a quiet room, like right now, and then lay down a podcast and then edit it, post it up. It's this week, it's been 1 week. So we did Philly, DC, and Boston. And now we are finally in New York City for a few days off. I'm not taking any days off because I'm stupid. And I'm going to be doing the Cellar and the Stand tonight, Tuesday night and Wednesday night. And then we do the Beacon Thursday, Friday. And then we're off to, I think, Columbus, Ohio, then Toronto. But it has wiped me out, actually. It's pretty crazy. And, you got to watch out. I'm sleeping. I'm fine on the sleep, but it's, I haven't been able to go to the gym in about 4 or 5 days. And you just kind of, I'm just trying to get acclimated to the rock and roll tour. And I'll tell you, these guys are in their 20s. And no better way to do rock and roll in your 20s than just fucking going out there every night and laying it down. But I'm back there, the old man. Comedy's different. You fly in on like a Thursday somewhere, and you do like 4 shows in one city, and then you fly home. But man, it feels good to finally step off the bus for a minute and be able to just enjoy a little downtime for about 2 hours. I really didn't even have any downtime yet anyway. The first night of the tour, the fucking handle on my brand new luggage broke. So the luggage is full of podcast equipment and stickers, merch, and clothes, and the handle just breaks. Brand new. Supposed to be one of the best bag companies going. I'm not even going to shout them out because the fucking handle broke. But I got to New York and they go, we have a service center. We'll fix it absolutely free. So I had to go Midtown, New York on the subway with this empty bag like a zombie, dying for some sleep, and get this bag fixed. So I got the bag fixed, but oh man, what a way to start a tour. Just your fucking handle breaks. There I am at LAX, just carrying this piece of luggage. I mean, it's got wheels, but if I got to pick it up or whatever, you need that top handle. Oh man, I don't know. I don't even know what's happening. I just, I hope I make it through it. I hope I make it through it. I've met some great people, some Patreoners out on the tour. Well, let's give a shout out to the Patreoners. Jason Jeffrey, Tracy Shepard, Kevin Connell, and David Hall, and Scott Street with the big donation. Thank you so much. Some new Patreoners there. But I did meet some Patreoners at the shows, and it's funny to see them because, they're watching me go up there and battle these audiences. It's a tough wrangle. Yeah, I think you have to almost. It's a lot of crowd work with a combination of confidence and just trying to figure it out. I think the Beacon will be great because they're seated venues. But like I said, whenever it's general admission, it's pretty squirrely. Let's see who I met out there. Here it is right here. Chris Herron. I met Chris Herron out there in D.C. last night. And then in Philly. Oh, no, not Philly. God, you know what? I can't even remember. It's all a blur right now, the shows and the venues. Yeah, I met Chris at Boston last night, and D.C. was the night before. Shit, man. I don't know. I am truly upside down, and I hope I get it all together. Just insane world out there. I am in New York. And we have a few days off, like I said, but I'll be doing some shows. And I'm going to be going to see Ron Bennington on Sirius XM on Wednesday at 1 p.m., I believe. I will be doing an interview with Bennington, seeing an old friend. And that'll be good. That will be good. Beacon Theater. Looking forward to doing the Beacon. I've never performed in the Beacon. It is legendary, of course, all those Allman Brothers runs back in the day, where they would just do like 15 nights around Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. It's such a legendary venue. Upper West Side. Just beautiful. So looking forward to going there, telling some jokes. It's been wild, man. I wrote down a little diary here, some notes in my phone. Just, putting down what goes down out there. And here we go. Let's see here. This is what I wrote. Day 3, Boston, House of Blues. Started okay. Some heckling. Trashed a guy about Berkeley School of Music. I did. Some guy was in the front row, and he's just yelling out, Marcus, Marcus. And I looked down, and I realized I saw who it was. It was a guy that Marcus had given some tickets to. A guy from France going to Berkeley School of Music. So, he's just yelling that while I'm on. And so then I just trashed him. I was like, what are you doing? Going to Berkeley School of Music? You don't learn guitar in a school. That's not where you learn songwriting. Get out on the streets and fucking live life, you loser. I'm just rifling on him. And the Boston crowd's loving it. That's what Boston's into, like just getting trashed. Trashing people. They're into that. Until you trash them. And then they're like, fuck you. But if you're trashing someone else, they're like, yeah. We got a incredible, by the way, private tour of Fenway. It was so amazing to go inside the Green Monster. The whole band, myself, we all went to Fenway. I'd been to Fenway pretty extensively years ago with the Stones, but kind of just forgot about a lot of it. And also it means so much more now, thinking that my great best friend Bill Burr sold that place out a couple of weeks ago, $36,000. So it really was cool to just stand in the spot where Bill was just telling jokes in his hometown. And we got to go in the Green Monster. That was great. And, the place was built in 1912. It's just the last of the old ballparks. So wild to see something that has been saved like that and still used. And they got a new venue hooked onto it that holds 4,500. Bruno Mars was playing there. And we were across the street at the House of Blues. A lot of action going on right there in that area of Boston. So that was really cool. Shout out to the people of Fenway for letting us come in and take some pictures and enjoy that. It's really cool to watch a band like Marcus King on the rise. It's just amazing, because I know how fucking hard it is to grind. And, I'm hearing some of the stories from the band members of just the van tours and the long drives and the grind and starting out playing coffee shops or just some rundown rock clubs. And then it starts to rise to where it's getting right now. And when somebody's great, like Marcus King, it's just justice. It's like, oh God, this is great. The good guys are winning. So it's fun to watch that. Really fun. And Mark is a huge fan of comedy. I can't thank him enough for trying something different. He loves the old school thought of back in the 70s when they had a comedian open for a band. I think I'll figure it out. I will just keep trying. It's funny. I was feeling pretty defeated. I was just kind of like, God, man, what am I going to do? And then my Instagram evil phone must have been sensing my craziness, because this post came up automatically in my phone. You cannot lose if you do not quit. That just came up in my phone, and I was like, who sent that to me, man? The gods, the art gods, the comedy gods, the rock and roll gods. That just came up in my phone, and I was like, all right, very cool. Thank you for the reminder. I think mostly I just need to get into the comedy clubs here while I'm in New York and just lay out some classic comedy in a comedy club. Some of my favorites, The Stand and The Cellar. So that'll be good to do that. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you if you're out there, out and about, and you are coming to the show. I'll be floating around. This is one weird thing I've noticed at the show, and I've never seen this before. I get off the stage, and I'm kind of like, how did that even go? And I go over to the merch booth, and they're like, hey, you sold 3 shirts. And I'm like, what? Who's buying a shirt after that performance? But, people are coming up going, that was great, man. You were funny as shit. And I'm giving out stickers and stuff. So you just can't tell. You cannot tell. If I just grab like 100 people a night, that's better than sitting on the couch or sitting home. So I'm happy for the opportunity, I'm happy for the opportunity. This episode is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is the sponsor of Let There Be Talk today. I'm telling you, man, when I'm doing comedy, I got to have all kinds of irons in the fire. And it's never too late to start some new skill or learn. Absolutely never too late. I wanted to learn better social media stuff, I wanted to learn how to do some photography and put together little mini docs and stuff. And Skillshare has helped me with this. They've got every kind of category. You want to learn something: animation, design, illustration, lifestyle, social media, business, writing, anything. You go to Skillshare.com. And here's the cool thing. You are going to get an incredible deal by just punching in Skillshare.com/Delray to get your first month free. That's Skillshare.com/Delray, Delray. Get your first month free. It's just anything you want to learn. This is an incredible website. Skillshare classes are curated and polished for maximum impact. In under 60 minutes, you can learn more than you would in a whole weekend spent scouring YouTube. Each Skillshare class is broken into bite-sized modules packed with actionable insights. Level up your e-commerce chops, branding skills, social media savvy, and more. New classes launched every week. Get it right now. A free month. I'm telling you, I use this to learn some editing, film editing. And it's a great site. Skillshare.com/Delray. 1 month free. You got nothing to lose. Okay, what else we got here? This day off here in New York City. I was on the bus and we were talking movies. And I remembered finally, there's like movies you see over time and you're like, what was that movie called? And they're like, monumental films, but you just cannot remember. That movie that we were talking about last night was Eastern Promises. And if you've never seen this, it is gnarly. David Cronenberg. And it is, oh man, it is insane. Came out in 2007. And I'm not going to give anything away about it, but we were talking about a specific scene. And I was like, oh my God, that film. And it just came back to me that I need to see that again, If you have not seen it, it is gnarly. 2007, that is a long time ago. Naomi Watts. This film is, if you're into gangster films, this is one of the tops. And I don't think it gets talked about enough, which is crazy because it is an excellent film. I give this thing a 10. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. Eastern Promises. By the way, Greg Dooley and I were talking about Jaws and IMAX and 3D version of it. And I'm so bummed. I just did not have time. Each morning I was trying to go see it. It played for a week in L.A. at a theater in IMAX or 3D. And every morning at 10 a.m. And I couldn't get to it. I'm bummed. I hope they run that again to see Jaws in 3D. Damn. I want to give you guys a little bit of a funny video that I saw. I was stumbling around YouTube and saw this, The Godmother of Drumming. I don't know if you've seen this. I think I sent it to Burr. It's basically this, let me look it up real quick. It's this godmother, older lady, and she's on doing like drum covers of like metal songs. So I just stumbled across it. It's one of those ones that comes up in your recommendations. I don't know why. I guess because I have a lot of drummers on the podcast. And she's playing Down with the Sickness, the Disturbed song. And it is amazing to watch her because she just comes in. She's got a little kind of little sketch like she's auditioning for a band or something. And it says, have you ever found yourself making assumptions about someone before you've met them? What about before seeing them play drums? For assuming she plays quieter instruments and not being taken seriously at the audition. She goes in and auditions to play this Down with the Sickness cover. It's so funny. What's her name? Dorothea Taylor? I guess that's it. It is fucking hilarious. It just shows her like, is the audition in here? And they're like, yeah, old lady, the organ's in the back. They're like clowning on her. And then she just gets there and crushes. It's definitely a sketch, but it's fantastic. Down with the Sickness. Anyway, I wanted to give that a little shout out because it's a great video to watch. You will love it, man. I've been listening to a lot of music on the road, of course, and I, you get in your bunk. I've got a bunk on the bus. They have what they call condo bunks, which are they're bigger. You can sit up in it in your bunk. Some buses are like seated for like 8, 12, or 16, and they just cut the bunks in half. They get slimmer and slimmer. But this bunk is what they call condo bunk, so I can sit up in it, and it's nice and comfortable. And I've been in there just listening to music in my bunk, and I've really started thinking about bands that have side bands. And the side bands are fantastic. So I was rocking quite a bit of Johnny Greenwood and Tom York's side band, The Smile. And this shit is fucking amazing. I mean, is there anything those Radiohead guys can't do? I mean, this is their side band, and I would say it's just as good as Radiohead, you know? I mean, it is unreal how good The Smile is. So I've been rocking The Smile. And then, of course, Julian from the Strokes side band, The Voids. And both of those are just unbelievable, side bands. They're like, their side bands are better than most people's regular bands, which is hilarious. If you haven't heard either of them, the Smile or The Voids, oh my God, it's good. It's so good. I'm trying to look up right now. Julian's he's got a few of those, and this is the one I love the most. Tyranny. Actually, no, I like them both as much. Tyranny and Virtue, but The Voids is spelled with Voidz. By the way. But this stuff is so cool, and the videos and everything. So, The Smile and Julian Casablanca's The Voids, just phenomenal, man. Just phenomenal side bands. It's unreal. It is unreal. So much good music. I was doing the bit on stage last night, People say there's no good music anymore. And it's great to see all these people out seeing Marcus King, new music. This new music. Guys filling houses. His record came out a few weeks ago, and I cannot tell you enough how great Youngblood is. Just a killer record. Marcus is just blowing my mind. I tell you what, I'm watching this band. I've watched them 3 nights in a row, and they are just slaying it in the form of, like, I'm sure Skinnerd was doing like the first couple years when you saw him, or the Black Crowes on the Southern Harmony tour, just killing it. Marcus playing, he's got a Les Paul, he's playing 345, he's got a Strat, he's got a Telly out there, just crushing it. Man, the audiences have just been getting their money's worth. And then him and Neil Francis do some covers each night, which is cool. They're doing some Beatles right now. So if you don't have a ticket, man, get yourself a ticket and go see this right away. Patreon.com/Dean Delray, Kevin Connell, Tracy Shepard, Jason Jaffrey, Scott Street, and David Hall. I want to give them another shout out. Thank you for joining on. All the tour dates are on DeanDelray.com. And I also have some headlining dates happening out there in the world. I'm going to be at Soul Joel's, which is, where's Soul Joel's? I'm just trying to remember where these shows are. Oxford, Pennsylvania, and Potterstown. That's 2 different Soul Joel's. December 2nd and 3rd, I'm going to be doing some dates with Burr in December. And then I'm going back to San Diego, and I will be back out in Fort Collins, Colorado. Those are the dates right now. All the Youngblood tour dates are up right now. And looking forward to sitting down, like I said, with all the band members and running through. This is the longest tour I think that they've done, headlining 6 weeks out there. It is the rock and roll submarine. It's floating around America. Good to be in New York, man. I'm looking forward to walking around the streets tomorrow and just sucking in some of that New York energy. Got to get into that. Got to get into going to some of my favorite places. Looking forward to going to Standard and Strange, seeing what they have. Can't wait to see like Keith Robinson at the Cellar. Hang out with those guys. I want to thank everybody that has come out to the show so far and taken the ride. Taken the ride. By the way, if you're following the progress, I still have not gotten that email address back, and it looks like it may be gone for good. All my electronics lately have just been starting to fucking fail. My iPhone's like an iPhone 10. They just came out with the 14. It just looks like nothing new. iPhone 14, same old shit. Oh, it's got a new camera. Oh, the fucking camera's way better. 5 cameras ago, our naked eye couldn't even tell. And that's all they come out with, just camera each time. It's insane. iPhone 14, but I'm going to have to get an iPhone. The battery is completely fried on this. It's the actual speaker part doesn't work. The part I speak into, the part where I hear. So I can never use the phone part. I got to have headphones in at all times to use the phone. Phone's falling apart. Computer's about dying. These electronics, the problem is if they just would work fine, I wouldn't need new shit at all. And I think they're onto it. They're like, we just got to put in that slowly meltdown mode on all his electronics. And that way he can go buy new shit. Because after a while, you just don't care anymore. You're like, I don't need a better camera. This camera's killer. I just need battery life. So iPhone came out with the iPhone 14 a few days ago. Not one person said shit. Nothing. I didn't hear anybody go, dude, you see the new iPhone? Not one person. The new iPhone Ultra watch looked pretty good. I'm a watch freak. You guys know that. I've never owned a iWatch, but it looked pretty good. It's titanium. And I was like, well, maybe they'll get me on a goddamn watch. I dug it, man. It looked good. It actually waterproof. I always dug the iWatch or whatever it's called, but I just never got one. But it is cool to be able to, like when I'm on stage, you can set it to click on your wrist, kind of vibrate so I know where I'm at. Oh, I'm at 30 minutes. I'm at 45 minutes. That's kind of cool. But no one's saying shit about the new iPhone at all. You notice that? Not one person said shit about the iPhone. Yeah, they better figure it out. They got to figure out what they're going to do next. Samsung, I think, they just do like folding phones. Yeah, ours is folding. But the phone design there's just no new phone design. I'm still that guy that wants them to go back to buttons. Just offer one with buttons like a BlackBerry. I'm in. Old guy talking. I am feeling like I'm getting old from this rock tour. I'm like, whew, man, I'm old. I usually, here's the thing. It's like you get on that schedule in life where I get up, I answer some emails, I take Gertie walking for like 3 miles, and I come back, I eat some oatmeal, then I go to the gym. I come back from the gym, I podcast with 1 or 2 guests, and then answer some more emails, and then maybe run some errands, and then go out and do comedy. And I realized over the last few years, I'm just pretty simple. That's really all I really want to do is just comedy. And I've said it over and over, but everything I do is so I can keep doing comedy. Which, by the way, I got to see Tori Adler, the old guitar player from the Delray band. And I was going to try to get him on the podcast, but I'll do it on Zoom. But he lives out in Boston. And I have not seen him since COVID. He came out to the Bon Scott Bash. And that was kind of cool. That he flew out for that. But it was great to see him in Boston a couple days ago. Just a fantastic human. So look for him coming on. We're going to talk about the old days of the Delray band, recording the record, Lone Mountain Serenade, all that kind of stuff. So it was really good to see Tori. And that'll be part of the fun of this tour, seeing people in spots that I haven't been in a long time. Anyway, I guess that's about it today. Look for some more episodes dropping over the next week or so here with some of the Marcus King band members. That'll be fun. And I hope to see you guys at the Stand or the Cellar or the Beacon when I'm in New York. If not, Columbus or Toronto. And we'll see if I figure out this rock and roll comedy tour. It is an adventure, and I'm down for the challenge. I am down for the challenge. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Candles are lit. I'll see you soon.